Charlotte Lee.
Here.
Dave Bartlett.
Here.
Jan Pesa.
Here.
Margie Hageman.
Here.
Leanne Bartz.
Turn off your mic. Turn off the mic for a minute.
I saw you, Leanne.
Leanne's here, but I don't think
I see her.
Have her mic on.
She's like, yeah, trying to figure us out. Well, wave
she's
at us.
here.
We see her. I think, oh, Carol Kadinger. I saw Carol pop on. Oh, yep, I see her.
She's muted too.
Yep.
I'm here.
All right. And Margie Steinecker, I don't see her. And Jane Weber was not able to be here with us today, so we're good.
Has everybody had a chance to read the minutes from the January 18th meeting?
Yes.
There are two corrections. I missed Larry Bjork and Maria Bukowski in the roll on those minutes, so I will adjust those.
Okay.
And Chris, I didn't hear my name being called just now. I am here, Suzanne Gaines.
Oh, yep, I saw you, but yep, thank you.
You're welcome.
Are there any other additions or corrections? Well, can I have a motion to accept the minutes?
I so move.
Any seconds?
I second.
All in favor of voting the minutes, say aye.
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 Oh, so are you muted yourself?
Okay. Find me now?
Yep.
The next thing on the agenda is public comments. Are there any public comments from anyone?
I do not believe. Randy, we had no requests for public comments.
I don't recall seeing any.
And so then we move on to the upcoming meeting date and time. It's scheduled as May 17th, 2021. Does that work with everyone?
And
Yes,
that,
if you ignore the fact that we're talking about May.
and that would be 1 to 3 again.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, and now we're going to have a report from the benefit specialist, Bethany Schneider and Lisa Schuler. Please.
I can go first. Hi, I'm Bethany Schneider. I'm the Elder Benefits Specialist for Dunn County. I work with individuals 60 plus. There is an EBS, that's our acronym, in every county and for every tribe in Wisconsin. We get our funding through through the state, federal, and the Older Americans Act. And we're trained and monitored by a supervising attorney that works with GWAR. I help people that are seeking information about benefits. I help them understand and navigate Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid are the three biggest ones. I help people submit applications, appeal denials, though we don't. I do help people with Social Security disability applications, but we can't help with the appeals for that. So that's one thing that we can't do. We provide information, suggest actions to obtain benefits, counsel people on what options they have. And there are some legal things we can help with my supervising attorney, but it is limited. I help every year during open enrollment, so my job gets crazy from about the end of August to the end of the year. That's Medicare open enrollment. I mainly help with Part D, but I also counsel people on their supplement options and let them know what's out there and let them pick what's best for them. I help with food share, Medicaid applications, housing sometimes, well, not really housing, but problems with housing with landlords and stuff like that. We also do some debt counseling, help people like people that are on only Social Security. Debt collectors cannot come in and take those benefits. So we will actually write letters and stuff to creditors. That's kind of about it. I mean, there's quite a few things that our program can't help with, like that where we just do referrals for like power of attorney, wills and guardianship, criminal cases. We don't help with any of that, but so that's about it. Any questions at all?
About how many people do you serve on a typical month?
A typical month, probably about 80.
Wow.
I don't know. It averages, it's usually 5 or 6 a day. And during my really busy season, it's a lot more than that. But some of it's repeat customers, you know, things I'm following up on and stuff like that.
I'd like to add that the monetary impact that Bethany does or brings in, and the monetary impact is the estimated value of any benefits that a specialist helps a client with to obtain or preserve. And last year, her total monetary impact was $2,093,665.
And how is that calculated, Lonnie? How do you know that?
Because it's what the report says. I have no idea how it's calculated.
So we have to document everything we do. And when we close a case or help somebody get a benefit, it's part of Wells Sky. Like we have to check off a box. And so then it totals the whole year. So I don't know how they figure those totals. Like I don't know. It just seems like random numbers to me, but they have some method.
Each program has a different dollar amount associated with it. And so that's like when we close out a case, if we were to get someone approved for Medicaid, there's so many federal dollars and state dollars that go with that. And that's how the monetary impact is calculated throughout the year annually. And then when we run our reports, it's all the programs that were positive outcomes that shows us where that monetary impact, like what we did to help those clients.
Essentially kind of an average per benefit,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
That, you
Yeah.
know, like if you were able to obtain food share, it would be on average worth this amount of money times the number of months times the number of people.
Right. Yep.
Do you go out and do home visits at all for people that are homebound?
Sometimes, yeah. I mean, if it's requested, I do. I'm not right now, but not for the last year.
Right.
But I have done that. Mainly it's in the office, but if somebody needs special arrangements, I work with them.
Or you arrange for transportation to get them in?
No, we haven't really done that. Nobody's really requested that, but
Okay.
if they have Medicaid, we probably could
Okay.
help them do that.
Well, just this morning, my husband and I were working on a question that came up with concerning Social Security, and our son. I am a legal guardian for our adult son, and it was an error that was made by Social Security. They had apparently paid too much to our son last year, and so now they have to pay back. Or we have to pay back that amount that was overpaid. But just to pull that information together and sort it all out, I mean, it took hours for the two of us. And I would think that that's the kind of, nothing is easy when it comes to trying to work within the confines and the parameters of a lot of questions that come up about whether you can be part of, get a benefit or whatever. It can be just tremendously complicated. And I'm amazed that you can handle as many people as you do, given how complex it can easily get.
Yeah. Yep. And we get quarterly trainings too to keep up on all the changes and refresh our minds on what everything is, because it's so hard to navigate all of those things,
Right.
and then when you get it, then they change things. So
Right.
it's good.
So who is your legal backup in Madison?
GWAR,
Yeah.
there's 4 supervising attorneys that kind of separate the state out. I know the Milwaukee area has their own. They don't go through GWAR, but the rest of the state pretty much does. So
You call that GWAR? What,
GWAR, it's an acronym. GWAAR.
Greater Wisconsin.
I never remember what it means.
Agency on Aging Resources.
There you go.
They essentially, Margie, GWAR administers all the aging program, protocol, policy, and funding piece of it. So we have a contract with GWAR for all of the aging programs outside of transportation, because that comes through the Department of Transportation. But the caregiver programs, the elder benefit specialist, disability benefit specialist. Nope, DBS is Department of Health Services. Elder benefit specialist,
Nutrition.
and nutrition.
okay.
Does anyone else have any other questions for Bethany? If not, Lisa, would you like to give your presentation, please?
Yeah, my name is Lisa Schuler, and I'm the disability benefits specialist. And my program, I work with individuals ages 18 through 59. And so if a child, so I do a lot of the federal and state benefits. On the Social Security side of it, for disability benefits, if a child under age 18 is receiving an SSI benefit, at age 18, they have to have a redetermination as an adult. And so I'll get a lot of referrals from our INA workers who are working with those high school students turning 18 and what the guardian needs to do to help transition. I also help individuals apply for disability insurance. I help them understand if they have what's called insured status to qualify for disability insurance. If they don't qualify for that program because they haven't earned enough work history, I then look to see if they're eligible for the Supplemental Security Income Program. That's an income and asset-based program based on a household of 1 or 2 if you're married. And then along with that, typically an individual that is on disability insurance and under the age 65 will automatically be eligible for Medicare. And so after the 24th payment. So I do get a lot of calls coming in to help with setting up prescription plans or looking at Advantage plans, looking to see if they're considered to be dually eligible, which is Medicaid and Medicare eligible, help assist them if they need to apply for food share. I'll help with housing applications, energy assistance applications. I do get clients that are homeless, so I do try to find shelters in the area. I do a lot of work with Stepping Stones with Heidi Hooten and trying to get housing set up for clients that are sleeping in their cars at night. Last year, I had a client that was in need of a shower. They didn't have anywhere to go take a shower, and so I had contacted Quick Trip out at exit 45 to see if they would waive the $8 fee for my client. And they said they couldn't do that, but to go online and look at this community application program to help the community members. And so I asked Lonnie if I could apply for it, and I asked for $700 in gift cards so I could, provide those to clients that are not having any source of income right now. And this is all like right before the pandemic happened. And then when I got back to the office to pick up some stuff, there was a box on my desk, and Quick Trip sent $500 worth of gift cards, $10 gift cards. I look at this and I was like jumping for joy because throughout this time, we've been able to issue those cards for gas, and they're gift cards. It's not just for gas. And so it's really like for me, it felt really good to be able to have that kind of an impact, to be able to help clients that need to pick up groceries or toilet paper or something that they just don't have income for. So that was rewarding. It's always rewarding when I can get clients approved for disability. I help with appeals all the way up through the law judge. So you file the application, they get denied, we file the appeal. I will request the medical file from the Social Security Administration. That helps to determine the strength of the claim and what we need to do if there's like missing information or something that they're just not seeing at the initial level. And then if the first appeal gets denied, I'll help them with the appeal for an administrative law judge. And then I do provide them a list of Social Security attorneys to reach out to help represent them for that claim. So some of them are ongoing clients, some are new clients, some are clients that aren't eligible for any sort of state programs. And so it's trying to find programs that, have grants that are available to help with keeping like medical expenses down. Let's see, what else? I work with, I also have a supervising attorney, which is out of the Disability Rights of Wisconsin. And we also do our trainings. They've been virtually here, obviously, for the last year, but typically we do a spring and a fall large group gathering, and it's just going over new policies. If there's any updates, we'll do a meeting, which is usually like from like 8 to noon in 2 separate days, just to kind of help break that day up. But I also have like they're called a technical assistant on my end, but they are an attorney. So she helps with just making sure that I'm, following the laws and making sure the program. They also she'll provide like different insight for me on different ways to look at the case or different ideas to run with for trying to meet a listing for my clients. So it's a very good variety of a little bit of everything, but it's a challenging position, but it's also rewarding at the same time, because it just feels good to be able to help people that can't or don't understand the complex of the programs, especially when they're all combined together. Because there's I'll give you an example. There could be a client that's on Medicare, disability insurance, and a Medicare savings program, and those all have different income limits for eligibility. And so if an individual wants to work, I do a benefit analysis to determine if, what's the max that they could earn through an employment, so they're not losing all of their benefits. So that's kind of it. It's a lot, but I don't know if there's any questions you guys have, or.
Lisa's monetary impact for last year was $911,286.
Yeah, so typically my average caseload is around, like prior to COVID, was around like 55 open cases that I would have. And then right now my caseload's down just a little bit, but it's nice because I have more time to read the medical files and on denials, and just kind of give some more attention to like the higher crisis cases that I receive. I'm currently working on 2 cases right now that are a dire need case. And so it gives me some time to kind of really dig in and look at the Social Security listings and how I can help the Disability Bureau determine or show them that they're meeting those listings without having to do, looking to see if they are eligible for past work history or doing any other type of job. So it's good. Like I said, some just are for disability, some are for state programs, some are for everything, and kind of the go-to. I work a lot with the Social Security field office in Eau Claire. They're very helpful. And then I can also do a lot of conference calling with the Great Rivers to help people just start the conversation with Great Rivers to request programs that some aren't even aware of. So, yeah.
Are you working also with funding agencies like Inclusa? Are they referring individuals to you for guidance?
So that work is through our INEs. So if someone is disabled and needs care in the home, then I would refer them over to one of our social workers at the ADRC, and the individual who's on intake would then follow up with like their assessment or like a functional screening to see if they would qualify for those programs. But they'd have to be on Medicaid to qualify. So if I see that they're on Medicaid and they need that, then I do the referral to the ADRs or to the counselors or social workers to help with that. Any
Yeah,
other questions?
Yeah. I heard you speak with the 18 to 55 or whatever it was, age group with a SSI, I believe it's called. I guess through all the programs that we've talked about, how does the stimulus money affect it positively or negatively? Does it make people, or the extra in the unemployment? How does that federal money coming in make any difference with your programs?
So for the stimulus payment, that is not counted as income or an asset of any sort. It's completely disregarded. So it doesn't affect anyone's benefits for state or federal. For unemployment, if they're receiving unemployment benefits, it's difficult because if you're receiving unemployment benefits and you're applying for disability, you're telling both programs two different things. You're telling unemployment that you are available and able to work, but then you're telling Social Security that you have a total disability and you can't work. And so if they file for unemployment and they have a disability application pending or in process and it gets approved, it's possible that the unemployment agency would come back and say, you have to pay us back because you told us you could work and you told them that you can't work. When I don't know about the unemployment, that extra 300, if that affects if someone's on Badger Care or if they're on like the MAP program. That's something I could look into and get back to you. I think that the unemployment is counted. I just know the stimulus payment is not counted. Do you know the
Yeah.
answer to that, Bethany?
Yeah, unemployment is counted.
It is counted. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
what I thought.
and with the stimulus, it doesn't count for a year, but if they save it after that year, then it does count as an asset.
Thank you.
Okay, are we ready to move on? The next thing on the agenda are staff reports. And Chris, can you have them go through the aging program surveys first?
I think Lonnie's going to take all of these things. So
Okay.
You can do it.
Oh, good. Okay, thank you, Lonnie.
Thanks, Lisa and Bethany. You guys don't have to stay on if you don't want to.
Okay. Thank you. Nice to see everyone.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Okay, the aging program survey. Every 3 years, GWAR says that we have to do an aging plan for 3 years, like a 3 years out. And it's required. And so we're working on the next 3-year aging plan, which would be 2022 to 2024. And there's specific goals and criteria that we have to meet. And one of the things is we have to do a community survey to see what the needs are in our community and then work on goals based off from what we find in the survey. So I believe everybody here got the survey. I think it was sent to everybody. Okay. I hope everybody filled it out. As of right now, when I looked, we only had 72 responses. It's been on our Facebook page, on the Dunn County Facebook page. It's gone out to all the boards. I sent it to churches and our newsletter. So we need more responses. I think last time when it was done, they got like 300 responses, but that was when they could go places and, you know, have these surveys at outreach events. So now that we're not able to do that, we're kind of just relying on either sending stuff in the mail or computer. So I am wondering if I sent you guys a blank form, if you guys could, you know, send it to your people you know in your neighborhood or your churches and encourage them to fill it out. Or you can make a copy of it and call people and fill it out for people. I don't know. I don't know what else to do to get more responses back.
What about the Meals on Wheels program?
It went out with them.
Oh,
Yep. Yeah, we put it right in with the meals and then collected it from them. So yeah. Yep. So if you have any more ideas or let
So
me.
you're saying, Lonnie, would you send it virtually, or would you send them actually in a paper?
Really?
Yeah. If people are comfortable sharing with sort of their close friends and family, there's not an age limit, right? I mean, it's not only people that are of a certain age, it's anyone.
Yep. Anybody in Dunn County. Yep.
Mhm.
And so, and it's, well, if you guys took it, you know, there's only 3 questions and then some demographics. So it's really quick and easy. So if we could just get the word out and, or if you guys wanted to call, you know, your neighbors and fill it out for them and then send it to us, then we would enter it into the computer system. We could do it that way too. So
I think I would like to get it both ways. I'd like to get it online and a paper copy.
okay.
And so can we request several copies? Would we be responsible for making the copies? What would you like? That?
If you want to, we can request, you can send you however many copies you want. Just let us
If
know.
it's on one page, you said, Lonnie?
One page, I think front and back.
Okay.
was that the survey that Denise Keesaw sent out? Okay.
Yep.
You're muted, Margie. I see your lips moving.
So when is this due? When is it? When do you want it back?
Probably, there's no real specific date. It's, we just have to start making our goals by summer. So really, probably the end of May would be really good.
Okay, I'd like a copy of both online and a hard copy,
Okay.
and I'll get it out to some people.
I'd also like a hard copy and online. Right now, the only thing my printer does is make copies, so I can make a lot of copies. I just can't.
Okay, awesome.
I've got a question or a comment. It's actually for Suzanne. That tell-all group, could we send something to that? I'm not really involved in that. I don't know how to how to send something to it, but I know it's there. Is that something they could send you and then you forward? I know that you
Sure.
use that group.
Yeah, that would be fine. I think the only thing I'll have to remember to do is because it's got a very wide distribution, not in Dunn County, make it clear that we're only looking for responses from people involving Dunn County residents. So they could be speaking for a family member that's in Dunn County or for themselves if they're in Dunn County. Is that fair? And so I've got the date. They should get it back sooner than later. And if they're doing it paper, they should send it to Lonnie. You will put an address on it. Okay. All right. Sure. Good idea. Thanks, Dave.
Thank you. Anybody else have any questions on the aging, the survey or the plan? As we go through the year, I'll be bringing up this aging plan again. Once we get the goals and stuff, I will let you know what our goals are and kind of get your input and see what you guys think too, if those are good goals or not.
Lonnie, is this something that could go out in the senior newsletter?
I think it did.
Oh, okay.
You talking about the senior center or our senior highlights?
No, the senior center.
Okay, yep, I sent it to Donna Collins and she said she would put it in. Maybe probably next month.
Okay. Oh, I'm on the senior center board. I could check with her,
Okay,
make sure that it does go out.
okay, thank you. Okay, the next thing I wanted to mention is our Caring Calls program. And that is, we partnered with the Menominee Police Department, and it's to help with people who are isolated and just feeling lonely and maybe just want somebody to talk to. So we reached out and we got volunteers who would make calls to people who wanted to receive them, just to chit chat. And we got a lot of volunteers. We got like, I think it was 25 to 30 of them. And we did an orientation with them, talked about, what things they can talk about, topics to avoid, good topics, and just what to look for if there's a problem. So after that, then we got, I think we have 11 people now signed up to receive those calls. So we have more volunteers than we have participants. So again, if you guys know anybody who would like to receive the calls, let me know, because the volunteers making the calls, they're anxious to do so. I keep getting calls saying, when am I going to get somebody? And I'm like, I don't know. So if you know of anybody, and again, we've advertised too online, and we've sent postcards to people, churches and senior highlights. So, yep. So if you know of anybody, just they just need to call the ADRC and just give our receptionist their name and telephone number, and then I put them, match the people together, and
they're committed to call once a week, right, Lonnie?
Yep. And the response I've gotten so far from the volunteers is that it's just been great. It's like, they'll call me and say, I just had the best conversation with so-and-so, we really hit it off, and we talked for, an hour, and we're going to go have coffee once COVID is over. So they're just, it's really good. It's so far, any questions on that?
Lonnie's our in-house celebrity because she's been all over the news with her Caring Calls, both the television stations, the radio.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of that, but I'll take one for the team here.
But stepping stones have people that may be in need of calls, that may benefit from calls.
People who go to stepping stones, you mean?
Well, I'm thinking people that may reach out to stepping stones for some help or something. There may be some people that might appreciate a call, and it might be worth at least reaching out there and asking.
That's a great suggestion.
Yep, I can do that. Okay, another thing we did over the past couple months was our Dementia and Caregiver Coalition. We put together caregiver recognition bags, and we got, well, the agencies involved in the coalition could either send money, donate money to us, or items. And so we put together this really nice, kind of like a care package with gift cards in it, a blanket, a mug, masks, hand sanitizers, a coloring book with colored pencils, What else, Jan? There was a lot of stuff in there. Some good resource guides on caregiving.
I don't know.
And like on note cards with postage stamps too, so people could write cards and have the stamps too to send them. So we got a lot of nice feedback from the caregivers. It was just, thank you for thinking of us. We've gotten emails and written thank you cards back from them, so they really appreciated it. And there are about 30 bags that were delivered.
Wow.
Yeah, that was pretty successful. And next, we would like to thank Larry Bjork and Cenex for, they got gift cards for the volunteer drivers, some gas cards, as just a way of recognizing them and thanking them. And so that was pretty cool. So thank you, Larry. That was awesome.
Well, let's just say after about the second or third week in February with that there sub-zero weather, it takes some really good folks to make those trips. So it's well worth it.
Well, and you might recall, I think we talked about this at the last meeting, but Larry had said, I'd like to think about maybe doing something for the volunteer drivers. Like, how many are there? Like 10? And I'm like, I'm not really sure. So let me check. And then Bernie came back and he said there were 35. And and I said, well, Larry, you might want to reconsider because there's 35. But then he went out and solicited support with Cenex and shared the cost with them. So yeah, so we're able to acknowledge them with a $10 gift card, right?
Yeah, and by the way, Cenex was really pleased to be asked. I was a little hesitant. I've never done much of that kind of stuff before. Haven't done any of that before. And talked to the right person. See, there's a Cenex now. You see this local Synergy Co-op, is all the way to Ashland. I mean, there's been a big consolidation of the local co-ops, from the Colfax and the Ridgelands and the Menominee, Barron, Almeda, all the way to Ashland. So it isn't just like, a local group anymore. I mean, it's a big, it's big co-op, it's big business. But the people that make the decisions that I was asking for are right at Ridgeland, Wisconsin. So I got to talk to them and they say, hey, this is great. I just need to ask so-and-so. And very pleased that they were really pleased to be asked. That's all I can say. So it worked out great.
That's good to know for in the future.
So are these the volunteer drivers for appointments, or are these the Meals on Wheels drivers?
The meals.
Okay. Great.
Okay. Next, I just thought I'd give you just a few statistics from last year. Last time we met, you talked to the information and assistance specialist, and I wish I would have pulled the reports at that time. So this is based on what they have been doing, and they talk to you about, how they take phone calls and kind of get people connected to where they need to be connected to. So I just wanted to tell you that last year, they received a total of 2,739 phone calls. And the number one topic for the phone calls was for public benefits and long-term care programs like Inclusa and Iris and Care Wisconsin. And that received 1,445 calls.
Oh.
The second most topic that people called on was abuse and neglect with 365 calls. And then the third was on home services, then nursing home, insurance, and mental health. Those are the top 6 things that people call up the most on. So just to kind of give you an idea of what they are talking about to people. And the average or the most age range of people that calls are 60 to 99. So 1,861 people in that age range are, called us. And 11 people in the age range of 100 to 150 called us. I thought that was kind of funny. And most of them for the listed disability was just being elderly. Other disabilities were Alzheimer's, developmental or mental health, physical disability, but it was just mostly just being elderly. So, any questions?
So are a lot of those cases that come in through information and assistance referred to the benefit specialists? I assume it sounds like some of the category are benefit specialist issues.
Yep, absolutely. Yep. Yeah, they refer both ways depending on what the needs are. And like the abuse and neglect ones, that would be the adult protective services. They take the calls for that and then they refer to the APS workers.
And Lonnie, how did that compare to previous years? Do you know off the top of your head?
I don't
No.
know. Look back.
Okay.
It's
I
been,
know she'll be pulling her annual report numbers here shortly, so we can kind of look at it then. But
and they've been just as busy. COVID did not really affect their job at all as far as the number of calls coming in, and they just can't go out and make their home visits like they used to. It's all done virtually and over the phone. But as far as the number of calls and the topics, it's about the same, I think, as last year. We're pretty darn close.
It almost wouldn't be surprising if the number would really increase just because people have been forced to be together much more than they would otherwise be around the pandemic. And yeah,
I know when the pandemic started, the calls kind of decreased a little bit, I think, because people were just like, oh my gosh, what do we do? But then, then after a while,
right.
Took back off.
that's all you got, Lonnie?
That's all I got.
Okay, well, our next thing is consideration of actions to be taken by the ADRC Advisory Committee, and there are none. So, and I don't see anything else on here, so we can adjourn the meeting. Oh, I'm sorry, Suzanne.
I was just wondering, one of the few actions we took last time, and I'm a newbie here, was on the 8521 funding application. Could we sort of get an idea of what status that's in? I can't remember when you'd know.
It was approved.
Oh, good. Good work.
Another action that you guys did take was you had passed a resolution, forwarded a resolution on additional funding for the ADRCs, and there is additional funding, there is an additional funding, a request for additional funding in the governor's biennial budget. So there will be some advocacy over the next few months to advocate for that to actually stay in place throughout the budget process. But there is a look at some more money for the ADRCs in the current biennial budget.
It sounds like most of it's for a lot of it is for caregiver and respite.
A lot of it is for caregivers.
It's all needed, every category is needy in some way. So if there's nothing else, we can adjourn the meeting. Thank everybody for coming. And does anyone else have something else to add? Dave? Raise their hand. So the meeting is adjourned. See you all a month, 2 months.
Bye, all.
Bye.
Bye. Have a good night.
Bye.